Yes, yes, we are here. We are here with you now and forever. We are Shaltazar, the energy of 33, the master teacher. We are the Gavish Baninu, the givers or teachers of divine wisdom. As is always the case, the choice is yours if you accept this wisdom. We thank you. We thank you for being here. Not necessarily for being here this evening, but for being here in human form. For living in human form at this time in human history often is a challenge, often is a struggle. Not only for those who have chosen to not yet awaken, to become more conscious, but even for those in this room and your other soul brothers and sisters who have chosen to open up to the light, to walk the path to enlightenment. For although you have in your journey been able to peek behind the veil, to see the beauty and grace that the divine offers, although your understanding of how life works helps you in your connection to the divine. For you know the divine is all-loving. You know the divine is all-caring. It is more challenging for those who have not yet chosen to open up to spiritual beliefs that are different than they were taught in their religious upbringing. And so one might think that because you understand to a greater degree how the divine operates, although we add the caveat, the source is unknowable and unthinkable, and we believe many of you already know that in all of your speculation as to how the invisible world works, you know you will never find the complete answer. Although your understanding of the invisible world, the divine, gives you a certain comfort when you are able to escape to that divinity, when you are able to feel the arms of the great Creator wrapped around you, when you feel secure, when you feel loved. But then you must open your eyes and show up in your humanness. You must get up tomorrow morning and go about your daily routines. Your work, your career, your relationships. Worrying about this, worrying about that. Surrounded by fear and trepidation. And as you go about your daily routine, it is so easy to forget the comfort of your divinity. For no matter how hard you try, the struggle in your human form seems to always be there. And let us suggest to you that that is the design of human form. Not as punishment, not as retribution, but as life was created by the Source. And so we thank you for being here in this time of great potential for change. For you are the pioneers. You are the ones who have dug deep into your conditioned beliefs and questioned and questioned and questioned some more as you found new beliefs, new answers, new ways that you believe the world works. And it takes great courage to go against the norm. There are so many of you that have wonderful, special, beautiful gifts that you have tapped into from the Source. And yet, you timidly go forth, somewhat tentative, sharing those gifts with the world for fear of what others may think. It is time for you, the pioneers, to stand tall and to stand together. So much of human life is about separateness. Again, by design, as you incarnated into human form, you were cut off from the unconditional love of the Source. And for many lifetimes, you wander around the planet looking for that which you lost. But more and more of you are now realizing that which you search for is deep within you. You are the master creator. You are perfection. For you have a piece of Source within you. And although at times it is difficult to tap in to that piece of Source, to that divinity within, it is always possible to get closer to that divinity. The full moon energy is still lingering. There is a heaviness in the air. Despite us being in the season of rebirth, in the northern hemisphere, as the leaves begin to come forth on the trees, as the flowers begin to peek their heads above the earth, there is an opportunity not only for Mother Nature to create rebirth, but for each and every human being to do so. And if you could imagine that you were one of the flowers that is breaking through the earth and shining its splendor to all that gaze upon it. Imagine for a moment the effort, the challenge that little stem goes through as it breaks through the darkness that it has been in for the winter season, as it pushes and pushes and pushes some more in hopes of finally seeing the light of day. That you realize what this is all about. For we know that many of you are experiencing a similar feeling these days. No matter how awakened you have become, no matter how enlightened you have become, no matter how in touch you are with your divinity, there are still times when you are surrounded by darkness, trying to push your way through the surface so that you may find the light of day. And now, if we may go back to the analogy of that beautiful flower, we would like to share with you that flower does not feel the anxiety, does not feel the struggle, does not feel the difficulty or the trepidation of pushing its way up through the dark earth to the light of day. It just does it. It is doing it now, and it will do it again next year, and it will do it again the next year and the next year. For that flower knows of the cycles of life. It knows that its time in the darkness is not punishment, is not retribution. It knows that all life on planet Earth, in the duality, has light and dark. And so if we could take a lesson from those beautiful flowers as to how we can choose to handle our sojourn in the darkness. And we believe many of you understand what we are talking about as the lingering heaviness of the recent full moon is still evident. And we know that many of you hope tomorrow morning you will wake up and you will have pushed through the last of the darkness, and the lighter energy will be there for you. And we cannot tell you whether that will be the case or not. But what we can tell you is the lightness will always be there, but so too will be the darkness. What would your life be like if you could learn to treat those two polarities just the same? And we know it is too much to ask that you would rejoice in the darkness as you rejoice in the light. But you do have a choice. You do have a choice when life seems overwhelming. You do have a choice when life feels difficult. You do have a choice when life feels overpowering. And that choice is to accept what is. And may we remind you that what is all that is beyond your control. And may we also remind you that acceptance is love. And if you could learn to accept more of what comes your way, you would be in love more of the time. You would not need to seek and search so strenuously for love outside of yourself. Can you imagine the confidence, the trust, the faith, the perseverance that little daffodil has as it pushes its way through the earth to the sunlight? And for those of you who live in this weather pattern where spring was somewhat evasive, it seemed to come and go and come and go again. Can you imagine how you would feel if you were the daffodil and you pushed your way through the earth with great effort and great perseverance, only to find snow on the ground? But let us assure you that daffodil was not disappointed. That daffodil knows the concept of accepting what is. It waited patiently for the temperatures to rise and the warmth of the sun to melt the snow. It is your mind that creates all of your struggle. Your mind is in the past. Your mind is in the future. The daffodil is only in the present moment, in the now. And so we would like to suggest to you that a good way to get through whatever it is you are getting through is to simply move to the present moment and feel deeply whatever you are feeling. For we have told you many times before that feelings are truth. Begin to create more consciously by getting in touch with how you feel, without judgment, without censoring. Surrender to what is. Allow and accept. Our love for you is unconditional and everlasting. Feel our love. And know as you push yourself through that last bit of dark earth and you get a glimpse of the light of the day, that we are there loving you, supporting you, and guiding you. Call upon us whenever you are feeling overwhelmed, overpowered. And we shall end as we began by thanking you for being here at this monumental time in human history. For as the pioneers, you are changing the collective consciousness. You are creating a new world. And even though you have the sanctity of your divinity to prop you up every once in a while, the struggle of daily human life will continue. So call upon each other, call upon us, get the support that is required. Stay together, form support groups, help each other as you move one step at a time closer to a kinder, gentler, more loving world. For the fate of your planet is in your hands, the ones who have chosen to lead the way toward the light. Do not be afraid, do not be intimidated that others will not understand your gifts. Come forward, stand tall, and be the wayshowers that you have come here to be. And so it is.